Near the hot desert just outside of Phoenix, Arizona, is a company called Alcor. Despite the high temperature outside, within, over 100 human bodies are being preserved at very low temperatures. Host David Pogue met with the president and CEO, Max Moore, to learn about the field of cryonics.
So who's in this gallery here?
These are some of our patients. We call them patients because we don't regard them as dead people. Their idea is that what we call death today is something of an arbitrary line. Really, it's today's doctors giving up and saying, there's nothing more I can do for this person, and I'm letting them go. What we're doing is we're saying, let's not quit there. Let's give the future a chance to bring these patients back.
Moore doesn't promise he'll be able to bring any of his patients back, but he thinks the chances are pretty good.
Already, we're seeing the field of regenerative medicine just burgeoning. We're already starting to replace organs and grow organ parts. And I think within the next 20 years, you're going to see some amazing developments. So pretty much any organ in the body will be replaceable, either with a biological one grown from your own tissue, or perhaps a synthetic organ.
After an Alcor member is declared legally dead, the patient is immediately placed in an ice bath. Then, the Alcor team restores respiration to make sure oxygen continues to flow to the brain until the body is cryopreserved. In fact, certain patients choose to preserve their heads alone. Ted Williams, the baseball star, is a famous Alcor neuro patient.
But here's the part I don't get. Suppose medical science does advance as you hope, and in 75 years they can revive this decapitated head. You don't have a body anymore.
Well, this is the way I look at it. I personally am a neuro member myself. I'm not taking along my body. My reasoning being that by the time I need this, my body's going to be a disaster area. So in my view, if you have the technology that can repair 100 billion damaged neurons, replacing this part is going to be pretty easy by comparison. But we leave that choice to our members. So let me show you the patient care bay.
Patient care bay.
Yes, this is where we have currently 117 patients, the oldest being Professor James Bedford, who's cryopreserved back in 1967.
Wow! Oh my gosh, this is very sci-fi.
It's not quite as sci-fi as in the movies where they always have a little frosty face behind a glass plate. You can't really do that. But here in these larger viewers we have 4 whole body patients, and we can also fit 5 neuro patients in the central column.
There's people in those cans.
That's right.
The bodies are wrapped in a sleeping bag to protect the skin from direct exposure to liquid nitrogen. Each one is held in its own aluminum compartment within the can.
So if we could see through these, we would see people just kind of like floating like this, or?
You'd see the aluminum pods, and inside they're actually head down. So that
Head down?
Yeah, so that the head would be the last thing to be exposed.
So are these heavily insulated? Are these basically giant thermoses?
Exactly. Just room temperature, a little bit cool to the touch.
Yep. That's not.
Inside is extremely cold, minus 196 C, minus 320 Fahrenheit.
I mean, you must get some strong reactions from people. You tell them what you do.
Especially when they don't really understand it. They think there's some kind of strange, creepy thing where you're freezing people. Why would you do that? But once they understand that really it's an extension of critical care medicine, it's just us picking up at the point where today's medicine gives up on people, it makes a lot more sense. When they see patients in hospitals being taken down 10 degrees C to slow down metabolism while you do brain surgery, it starts to make sense. When they look at the research into organ cryopreservation, the goal being to actually build an organ bank and keep a stock of organs rather than having to match one across the country very rapidly, it starts to make sense. It's certainly speculative, it's certainly not guaranteed, we're not sure if it's going to work, but it's not crazy, it's a shot, it gives you a chance.
And as for Max Moore?
You would live forever.
I don't use the word forever because forever is a very long time. There may be the heat death of the universe, some might explode in a few billion years, who knows. But indefinite lifespan I'm talking about. Really changing death from being compulsory to making it an option. So check back with me in 1,000 years and ask me if I've had enough.
Till then, Moore will be at Alcor. Well, at least his head will.